Alright, what is up, y'all? Welcome back. I'm here with some more cringe, courtesy of the Funny Bird app. I've got 2 stories lined up for today, but before we get into them, I want to start off with a little bit of a story time here. I want to provide you with an interaction I had over on Twitter that is directly related to one of the main characters of today's video. So a few days ago, Pokimane tweeted out this: "My fave podcast episode I've recorded thus far, smiley face. How I deal with hate plus toxic people. Watch here," with a link to the Spotify podcast there. So naturally I had to do a little trolling, right? And so I responded with this. Translation: fight with people that provide you with genuine criticism, play the gender card, and then seek to deplatform them. I figured that brutal honesty is always the best policy. Wouldn't y'all agree? I was simply looking out for her best interest. Well, fellas, I have some pretty sad news. Well, what can I say, guys? I'm a gremlin at heart, but yeah, go ahead and follow me over on Twitter. I'm trying to become a lot more active on there, and I would love to have you guys around. But let's go ahead and get into the video. But before we do, if you're new around here, like the video, subscribe, comment, blah blah blah. You know the spiel by now. Let's just get into our first story. So once again, Queen Poki has blessed us with some pearls of wisdom. Spoiler alert, it's actually some more ignorant shit. Go figure. This time involving her opinion on gambling on Twitch. Let's go ahead and roll the clip and brace yourselves.
Not say genuine question and then call someone slow. It's kind of like if I said, "That's a great question, but you're an absolute idiot to think that gambling is only being advertised to adults only when it's being live streamed on twitch.tv. Maybe you're slow. But I say that with such genuine authenticity.
So a couple things here I'd like to point out. First of all, I assume she's talking about that oh-so-timeless argument of hers where she says that gambling streams shouldn't be on Twitch, while on the other hand defending nudity. Because you see, a lot of her friends take part in these various Twitch metas that showcase, dare I say, softcore videography revealing blockbusters, if you get where I'm going with this, where she openly supports these types of content on the platform, but draws the line at gambling, right? Because obviously, if her friends are doing it, there's not a problem with it. Like, let me be honest here for a second. Are gambling streams the best thing 12 to 13-year-olds should be watching? Probably not, but is it the worst thing? Not by a long shot, because adult movies should not be exposed to kids when they're just simply trying to watch Peter Griffin fly in with the Peter copter and then hit the gritty in Fortnite. There's no logical argument for that. You can try and justify it, Pokimane, it's not gonna work. You see, over here, we're just too big-brained for that. Like, how you gonna even try and compare practically naked women exposing themselves to underage kids to playing a little bit of Plinko or something on stream? It's like comparing apples to oranges. One is clearly a problem and the other is virtually harmless, because what she doesn't seem to comprehend, as she's over here calling us slow, is that to actively start gambling yourself, you have to provide government-issued proof that you're at least 18 or 21 if you're talking like a brick-and-mortar establishment, like, say the casino that my dad hasn't ever left in roughly 20 years of my life. He's coming back into my life, okay? Jesus. I'm getting off topic, but my point is, to legally gamble and set up an account and shit, you have to provide things like your driver's license that'll instantly deny you access to their services if you are not of age. Like, for example, to set up my Caesar Sportsbook account, I had to provide my driver's license, whereas on Twitch, with the whole artistic nudity bullshit, all you have to do is just check off a little box that says you're 13 plus, with no further proof of age. We're on some bench warmers type shit over there. But yeah, Pokey, we're idiots. We're the slow ones over here. So yeah, these various Twitch metas that your friends partake in are quite literally developing legitimate addictions in little kids, because we'll call it corn this time around is readily available to kids. Whereas something like gambling, using your own money, might I add, to gamble, nothing wrong with it, and it's not developing any sort of addiction, because again, these kids literally can't unless they're legally of age. And at that point, they wouldn't even be kids anymore. And for the story in the title of this video, let's take a look at this ridiculous headline. California audiologist who stabbed boyfriend 108 times in, quote, cannabis-induced psychosis gets a slap on the wrist. Oh boy, here we go. The California woman who was convicted of killing her boyfriend by stabbing him 108 times during a cannabis-induced psychosis received a slap on the wrist Tuesday. Bryn, I'm not even going to try and say that, 33, was sentenced to 2 years probation and was ordered to perform just 100 hours of community service after being found guilty of killing her new boyfriend, Chad O'Melia, according to the Ventura County Star. Ventura County Superior Court Judge David Worley ruled that she, quote, had no control over her actions when she entered into a psychotic episode and stabbed O'Melia, 26, repeatedly in his Thousand Oaks apartment on May 28, 2018. Okay, wow. So let's go ahead and break this down. So, can I just say that this is some of the most disrespectful shit I've ever read in my life. The judge basically said to the victim, fuck you, fuck your friends and family, hell, fuck everyone who's actually a real victim, right? But then I got to thinking, this just didn't seem to really add up. I pulled out that TI-84 graphing calculator from Texas Instruments. Wasn't adding up. How on earth is it that the judge could have presided over a case involving a loss of life? Frankly, a very disturbing one, where the victim was killed pretty brutally. 108 times? Jesus. You'd think this would be an open and closed case, 25 to life, as they say. How is it that we got such a vastly different conclusion with just a mere slap on the wrist? Then I got to thinking, well, what does she look like? I'll go ahead and throw up some of that visual evidence on screen now. Oh, okay, of course, gotcha. It all makes sense now. She got off easy because she's hot.
These females are not living on recruit difficulty.
Oh, I disagree, misinformed woman. I disagree. You see, if anything, to me, this is irrefutable proof that women, in fact, do live on recruit difficulty. Let's keep reading, though. Experts for the prosecution and defense both found that the marijuana bong hit given to this lady threw the woman into the deadly psychotic episode. So a little fun fact about me, a little bit of quirky trivia, if you will. I've smoked a little broccoli from time to time, and I actually don't do it much anymore because it makes me a little anxious, truth be told, if I smoke too much. I've had some pretty gnarly experiences, but not once ever has chiefing that strong, made me propel into a psychotic rage where I feel the need to kill. That's straight bullshit in her defense. All that's happened to me is my heart raises a little bit, and I feel a little uneasy for reasons I can't comprehend or explain. And maybe I need a cute little snack or some water too, but that's really about it. I can confidently say there's been absolutely zero bloodshed. But let's continue. Under California law, a person is seen as responsible for their actions when impaired by drugs or alcohol unless their intoxication is involuntary. Jurors took less than 4 hours to find her guilty of involuntary manslaughter. During Tuesday's sentencing, she sobbed in court as she apologized to the father of the victim, Sean O'Melia. Well, you see, you California dumbasses, this wasn't involuntary or unbeknownst to her. And you want to know how I know that? Well, I used a little bit of what's called common sense. Maybe y'all have heard of it, maybe not, I don't know. But for starters, she made the conscious effort to spank that bong, right? So it was not involuntary. In fact, I would argue it was very voluntary. It was on her own accord. And second, look at this. This is after she got caught by the police and the police came in. She then plunged the knife into her throat when police attempted to disarm her. Why do you suppose she would do that? Well, if she was in some kind of psychosis and it was unbeknownst to her, what was she doing, right? Why would she try to take her own life in an attempt to escape the consequences? Consequences that, might I add, she didn't even receive because the judge and jury are a bunch of retards. But even more disrespectful than all of that is that the girl's father was present. And he deadass defended her and tried to paint her out as a good person or something right in front of the victims. as she was quite literally on a kill streak like it's Call of Duty, but in real life. The killer, who was painted by the prosecution as a party girl who just wanted to get high the night she killed Amelia, was portrayed in a different light by her father during the sentencing hearing. She has worked her whole life helping others, said Mike, who also made a note of his daughter's hearing impairment and her work as a licensed audiologist before the killing. I'm gonna go ahead and say it, man. If my daughter ever killed someone, you ain't my daughter anymore. You know, straight up, I'm not defending you. You are quite literally on your own. This whole situation is just genuinely so sad because the victims, the true victims, receive no sort of closure or justice, and then everyone involved here sees no issue with it. So I just want to be the one to say, you know, rest in peace to the victim. My deepest condolences to his friends and family and all that, and hopefully karma comes full circle. But guys, that's basically it for the video. I appreciate y'all watching. If you enjoyed it, leave a like rating, subscribe to the channel for more commentaries just like this. Leave a comment down below. I would absolutely love to hear what y'all have to say about all this. And until next time, guys, this is Runter, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later.